Coming up on NCC News, an interesting look at the Place Central Park and another look at local ice cream shops. Stay tuned.
Welcome to NCC News. I'm Michael Long.
And I'm Elena Rosnak.
And our top story, a Kaufman County, Texas district attorney is found dead.
The district attorney was found dead along with his wife as police searches for suspects. Police found several shell casings from a powerful rifle in a home. The murders may be connected to the killing of the former assistant DA, Mark Casey.
We're going to find you. We're going to pull you out of whatever hole you're in. And we're going to bring you back and let the people of Kaufman County prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
A promise from Kaufman County, Texas District Attorney Mike McClellan 2 months ago to the unknown killer of an assistant DA in his office. A promise, though, he would never see fulfilled. Saturday night, police found the bodies of the DA and his wife Cynthia at their home.
They both had been shot. We are in the process of completing a crime scene workup right now.
An investigator says police found several shell casings inside the home from a high-powered rifle.
It's pretty obvious it's unnerving, and it's unnerving to the law enforcement community. It's unnerving to the community at large.
There are no suspects, and the sheriff's office has not officially said whether the McClellans' deaths are connected to the killing of Kaufman County Assistant DA Mark Hassey, who was shot outside the county courthouse in January. The sheriff says extra precautions are being taken to protect county elected officials as well as the public.
There will be increased security at the courthouse tomorrow, visible security.
McClellan said his co-workers were like a family, but they all knew their job came with risks.
When you deal with bad people on a regular basis, you know that there's always the potential for these bad people to do something bad to you because they've already done something bad to somebody else. And so they could always concentrate and backlash on you.
An Egyptian comedian is freed of his charges after a large settlement. CNN Cairo has the story.
A welcoming more suited for a rock star than a wanted man. Egyptian satirist Bassem Youssef arrives at the High Court in Cairo. A mob of admirers chants his name as he struggles to enter the building. The public prosecutor summoned the comedian for questioning about accusations that he insulted President Mohamed Morsi and Islam. Here, Youssef pokes fun at Morsi speaking English on a trip to Germany on his show, The Program.
يعني gas and alcohol don't mix. مش ده قانون؟ الحرية مسؤولية.
لا عنده حق. جاز and alcohol don't mix. زي الإنجليزي والعربي كده don't mix. زي الدين والسياسة don't mix.
Millions tune in weekly to watch the Jon Stewart of the Middle East. He's even met the man he calls his main inspiration. But his popularity by pushing the boundaries of free speech comes with a price. Youssef faces more than a dozen lawsuits over his show, which the prosecutor says is insulting not just only to the president, but to Islam itself. And Youssef is a practicing Muslim.
You wanna go to prison? You wanna go to prison? Oh yeah? So cool. المهم فأنا عايز أشكر كل الناس اللي ساندونا ووقفوا معانا ودافعوا عننا.
Recently, many people critical of the Morsi government have either been arrested or brought in for questioning, a tactic reminiscent of the Mubarak regime. The question is now, will the Morsi government get away with it?
Whether they release him today or they keep him, this makes them look incredibly bad and can only be interpreted as harassment or trying to stifle any freedom of speech in this country with regards to the presidency or indeed authority in general.
Despite the pressure, Youssef has remained defiant throughout.
المهم ان انا عارف ان احنا برنامج ساخر والمفروض ان هو يعني يخفف عننا وكده، لكن النهارده هنتكلم في مواضيع جد، يعني هتقلب علينا مواجع، يعني ممكن ما تضحكش.
Yusuf was released after his questioning by the prosecutor, a free man after posting a $2,200 bond. Ian Lee, CNN, Cairo.
A Cuban woman is free to leave her country and explore the world. Patrick Odman reports.
Denied the right to leave Cuba for years, blogger and government critic Yoani Sanchez is now making up for lost time.
I'm going to go to all the places that for 5 years I couldn't visit. When I return in 3 months, having done my own trip around the world in 80 days, I will be a better citizen, I will be better informed, a better reporter, and a better Cuban.
And better traveled. Yoani Sanchez left Cuba in February, shortly after the government of Raul Castro abolished the country's exit visa requirement. It's still not clear why, after so many denials, they allowed such an outspoken critic to leave the island. She has since visited Brazil, Mexico, the Czech Republic, the United States. At each stop blasting what she calls the heavy hand of the Cuban government. She has taken her call for change in Cuba to meetings at the White House and with top Cuban-American lawmakers. It's a long way from her humble beginnings, blogging about the frustrations of living in a Havana apartment building without a working elevator and trying to feed her family off meager government rations. Even though her blog is no longer blocked in Cuba, Sanchez is still better known outside her country. Most Cubans we spoke to here on the streets of Havana say they don't read Yoani Sanchez's blog. The internet remains tightly controlled and very slow here in Cuba. And as well, Cubans say they are already aware of their country's problems.
Got English, French.
Sanchez's writings reach far and wide with the help of volunteers like MJ Porter in Seattle, who helped translate the blog from Spanish into 20 other languages. Porter says Sanchez challenges the appeal of the Cuban Revolution overseas.
I think she's made an impact that people will look back decades from now and maybe appreciate the impact that she has had in changing people's perspective. I like to say, you know, hopefully there's just maybe a few thousand fewer Che Guevara t-shirts in the world thanks to Yoani.
It's not clear yet if the blogger will pay a price in Cuba for her outspokenness. Sanchez says friends warn her that the Cuban government, which calls her a mercenary in the employ of the CIA, could prevent her return to Cuba.
I don't think that could happen. If it did, all it would mean is that instead of returning legally via an airport, I would come back on a raft.
On Monday, Sanchez takes her tour to Miami, the heart of the anti-Castro exile community. And no doubt her criticisms will again hit close to home. Patrick Ottman, CNN, Havana.
A school bus aide has been charged with stalking a 5-year-old child. Police say she's caught on video verbally harassing the student. Police say the child has a disability. The video you're about to see you may find disturbing. Angela Rozier has a story from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
The video tells the story.
I was shocked when I watched the video and disappointed. Again, you know, you trust your kids when they go to school that they're protected.
But Port St. Lucie police say it reveals how a 5-year-old boy with disabilities was harassed repeatedly by his school bus aide, 37-year-old Benita McPherson. McPherson is seen on school bus surveillance video verbally attacking the boy. Police say the harassment happened while the child rode his bus to and from school on multiple occasions.
The very next time I get off this bus and see you in the morning time hitting on your mom, it's going to be me and you. You understand? Yes. Huh? Yes, ma'am. Say yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Who you yelling at, boy?
According to a warrant affidavit, McPherson would bully the child, yell at the child, and threaten the child, bringing him to tears.
What did I tell you? Huh? What did I tell you? Put that seatbelt on now. Okay, cry. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Police were alerted about the situation by school security and DCF back in December. They say the case was presented to the state attorney's office after an extensive investigation.
But he suffers from multiple disabilities. He's a child with a lot of challenges, and he really didn't need this type of incident in his life.
A clash is going on between safe-sex advocates and officials at Boston College. A group of students has been told to stop handing out condoms on campus because it doesn't fit with the school's Catholic values. But as Elizabeth Cohen tells us, the group says it's providing an invaluable service.
Boston College, a deeply Catholic institution where crosses don't go well with condoms.
Male condoms, female condoms.
Senior Lizzie Jekanowski has organized a condom distribution network on public street corners and in dorm rooms marked with this safe site symbol. If you're in need of condoms, you may knock on one of these doors and just ask, the group's website says.
We go through almost 2,000 condoms every semester for students that need them. It is very much an important need here.
And that is getting these students in trouble.
Boston College sent this letter to the students demanding that they stop. Distributing condoms here, the letter said, isn't in concert with the mission of Boston College as a Catholic and Jesuit university. And if you don't stop, they said, there could be disciplinary action.
Jack Dunn is a spokesman for Boston College.
You know that students here are having sex.
Right. And if students want to purchase condoms and they want to have them available for their private lives, that's their business. Our issue is don't try to publicly distribute condoms on our church steps, on our campus, through our dormitories.
He says even he was approached while coming out of a church service.
A student from this group attempted to hand me a condom, and it was inappropriate. And I told him, I said, you know, really, on Ash Wednesday, do you really need to do that?
But Jekanowski says the group has never distributed on campus except in dorm rooms. This isn't the first high-profile condom dispute on a Catholic campus. In 2009, the Boston Globe reported Stonehill College in Massachusetts confiscated condoms that were being handed out for free in student dormitories. Dunn says he hopes to sit down and work this all out when students come back to campus after Easter break. But Jekanowski doesn't seem to be in a mood to talk. She says this is a health issue, stopping unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. And even if BC threatens to yank her diploma this spring, she won't stop.
The work that we are doing is invaluable, and that will not compromise what we're doing in any way.
Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Newton, Massachusetts.
An ice cream shop in Trumbull, Connecticut may have the best ice cream around. Unal Sutman reports.
This is Unal Sutman reporting from Sunny Days Ice Cream Shop in Trumbull, Connecticut. We just had one of the worst storms in history because of that many businesses couldn't open today. People are worrying about getting gasoline or going to get grocery shop. Today, I decided to come to a local ice cream shop in Trumbull, Connecticut. So we'll see if there are any people are getting ice cream.
We've been closed for a couple of days and we just opened it today. There is 40 inches snow outside, but people still get ice cream.
Many area towns had no electricity, including supermarkets, pharmacies, and even the mall had to be closed for a couple days. Now, if the power is back, people are heading out to get necessity and even an ice cream.
Yeah, after a couple of days, I was born inside in my house with my kids, and now I'm coming here to buy the best ice cream in town from Sunny Days Trumbull.
So even in a snowstorm, people are still coming out for Sunny Days ice cream. This is Unal Sutman reporting, Trumbull, Connecticut, NCC News.
Connecticut state colleges and community colleges are getting more expensive for students. Many people involved with these schools, including parents, are disappointed with this change. Joe DeSpirito reports.
Connecticut's Board of Regents for Higher Education voted to pass an increase in tuition for community colleges and state colleges. Many parents and people involved with these colleges do not agree with these changes.
Yes, I've read about it in the paper and I heard about it in the news, and I think they should increase elsewhere, not in the state colleges.
For community colleges, the annual tuition increase is 5.25%, and for state colleges, it ranges from 4.1% to 5.1%.
And for the time being, I don't think they should have an increase. I think they should postpone it
maybe for the next fiscal year.
Why? I think it's a very bad decision is because my son is planning on attending one of the state colleges in the fall.
The Board of Regents commented by stating that this was a difficult decision for them to make, and they hope parents and the public understand. It seems to be a tough pill to swallow. For NCC News, I'm Joe DeSpirito.
Coming up next after these messages, a story about famous baseball player / manager Bobby Valentine, as he has accepted a new job in Fairfield County.
Stay tuned.
A look into the life of a man who has accomplished a lot in his day. Bobby Valentine is the new athletic director at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. Munal Sudman has the story.
I'm excited and proud of the thought to be with you as you move forward.
Sacred Heart University recently announced a new athletic director, baseball legend Bobby Valentine. He was officially introduced at a press conference that was hosted by the president and the vice president of the university.
I want to welcome you, Bobby. I've told you just even before we came over here, these students are going to make you excited about being in this role, and I'm sure they won't disappoint you.
Valentine is originally from Stamford, Connecticut, and was the only three-time All-State football player in Connecticut history, and was voted by Sports Illustrated as one of the best athletes of the 20th century from Connecticut. He played Major League Baseball for the LA Dodgers, the Angels, Padres, Mets, and the Mariners. He later managed the Texas Rangers, New York Mets, and most recently, the Boston Red Sox. Now, Bobby Valentine named as the Sacred Heart University's new athletic director, and looking forward to working with the students. This is Unali Sutman, NCC News.
Norwalk Community College recently held a college fair to introduce students to all the new clubs they can join. Students are able to kick back and relax while learning about clubs that are available to them at their school. Michael Long reports. NCC's College Fair is a great way for the students to get to know the many clubs on campus. Student Aaron Disha, a finance major, tells us a little about the fair and some of the clubs he's involved in.
So what you're seeing behind me right now is the NCC Club Fair, where all of the clubs get together in the East Atrium to represent themselves. I myself am part of several clubs. Right here you see Speech Club with my friend Ralph White. He is the president, or acting president if you may. And what the Speech Club is about is we basically give you confidence in your speech abilities.
I also got the opportunity to get to know the Asian Club a little better.
Hi, my name is Vicky. I'm the president of Asian Club, and this is Armella, and I'm the secretary. All right. Well, we're representing the Asian Club. Our philanthropy is to stop child sex slavery in Southeast Asia. All of our donations, bake sales, anything like that goes towards that cause. We have a big event in March. It's to stop human slavery.
At the end of the day, it's safe to say this fair has something for everyone. I'm Michael Long, NCC News. A comedy show held at Norwalk Community College recently sparked some interest in students and faculty.
Stay tuned for more after these messages.
A comedy show held at Norwalk Community College recently sparked some interest in students and faculty.
Okay, so from my understanding, Benny came to you last year with the idea for this, and you guys, the Speech Club, wanted to put it together for him. How did you guys kind of go about that last year?
Well, at first, we gave all the responsibility to Benny. We said, if you could get the actual comedians, we'll get the place for you, like we did in the January, and we'll also promote it. We'll advertise it, and that's basically how we came about it.
What did I know Adrienne Connolly is actually, I talked to her about this first. Did she have any part in this, or was it all Speech Club, all you guys, Sue Seidel, all of that? Did she have any did she help at all, or did she just okay the idea and send it off?
Well, she talked to Benny first, so I think Benny probably should know more about that. But I feel like she just told us that we needed to back him as a club, because we need a club's backing in order to to do an event. So that's when we came in, and we helped him out with advertisement and getting the place.
And so I guess for Benny, what made you want to do the idea in the first place? Like, I'm guessing comedy is a big thing for you. So, like, what was your kind of inspiration?
My inspiration was actually, I do comedy anyway, and I wanted to just do something down in the genre form so I could videotape it. so I can send it to some of the clubs. But after I did it the first time and I liked it, and I just was like, let me keep doing it because I found a way for other comedians to come up, and I met a few comedians, so it's real good for me.
So how many performers were there last time around, and how many this time, and also like audience? Like I think I heard it was about 25 people last semester, if I have my notes correctly. Like how many are you looking to get this time around?
Well, yeah, last time I think there were about 25 to 35 people there. It wasn't as packed as we were hoping it would be. That's, again, because of, the lack of advertisement at the time, because we just threw it together really quickly. But this time, definitely, we got the PepsiCo, so we're going to try to pack the place, or at least get a lot of people to be there. And, oh, yeah, we had 3 performers last time, and this time we have 2 so far. So, but we'll know exactly how many by at least next week. But for now, we're looking at 2.
Yeah, right now we have about 3 performers. Me and my man Junior, if you know him, Junior Lassant.
I think you've heard.
Yeah, he's pretty good. We had Mika Jean last time. I'm not sure if I can get her again. I might try to get her again, but right now we're just working with 2. And we had 25 people there last time. Like it was like 25, 30 people, but I've spoken to most of those people, and they said they were coming back, and they've told their friends about it. So, and I already know at least 20 or 30 people extra besides those people who are coming. So
it's going to be, you think it's going to be pretty big?
Like everybody that I've told, they're coming because they want to see me in action. So it'll be pretty packed. And I know Junior knows a lot of people, so he'll get some people to come, and people who knew me there last time. So it's going to be big.
So what, as opposed to last time, what have you guys done this time to advertise more? Like I saw a couple posters up, but has there been anything else? Any like big newsletters, or just the posters up, and word of mouth, of course?
Well, I heard there's gonna be some. I know there was fly. I seen a big flyer. He said there's gonna be another. My man Ralph, he said there's gonna be another big flyer down there. I've been handing out flyers. I got to print some out actually right now, so I can go give them to student activity. I might do that in the next few days. There's been a lot. You're doing something in the paper, so that's promotion right there. So
Yeah, and then another thing I'm working on right now is getting all the information on the LCD screens, so that when students walk into the building, they walk in and they see, oh, there's a comedy show on March 28th. So that, that's another way we're trying to advertise it. But, word of mouth, flyers, we did it. We talked about it at the club fair, and we're just trying to get as many people to come as possible.
Oh yeah, and another thing, I know a few of my people have posted that up on Facebook. I know some of my friends have made actually like their cover on Facebook, like the flyer that he had. Yeah, and word of mouth is really big around here. So that word of mouth, I heard from word of mouth that a lot of people was coming. So, and Facebook.
So, I mean, obviously this is the second time you've done it. Are you looking to really make this thing like a yearly tradition almost, or is it just kind of as long as Benny's here, or like for the speech club, is it something you want to turn into a tradition?
Yeah, definitely. As long as we have, someone that's dedicated to comedy that could at least spearhead the event, start it. Right now, Benny is really good, and he's here, and he really wants to do it. So as long as we have someone like that, then of course we want to have it every semester if possible. But I mean, if we can't find any comedians, unfortunately, then we won't be able to. But if they're here, then definitely we'll try.
Well, as long as I'm here, I know I'm gonna get on stage. I've been trying to get some people that I know, like actual comedians, like they actually go out and do this, because they I know some people like that, and I want them to come see me, and in my own my environment, to see what kind of like my style, and how I interact with this crowd. Because usually when I go to stage, there's like old people, and like I usually older. Some of them, they get my jokes, and like it's not as impactful as like when I go to like a college. I go to some colleges and I do it, and I go to like places where young people do it. Like I go to the city and go to like college where college kids hang out, and I do my show. But then when I try to go like to older folks, it still works, but it's not as, because my jokes like mostly hip hop jokes about stuff that 20-year-old would get. So when I go do it for 45, they laugh, they get it, but like it's just not as the same. So I'm hoping when the 20-year-olds start going to clubs, I'll be in there, and I hope that works out for me.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks a lot, guys, for your time, and I hope it really goes well. I'm sure I'll be there, and that's about it. Thanks.
Local show hosted at NCC titled Central Park has recently been the talk of the school. There are many different acts to the show which create a certain degree of uniqueness. Christine Majone, director, and Zachary Hudson, stage manager, helped to illustrate some of the unique qualities. Bennie H gives us the story.
All right, so my role in the show as a director is I selected the show, I cast the actors, and then in terms of rehearsals, I've come up with an overall concept of how to stage it and present it, and then also help the actors with the roles and helping them shine in their roles and interpretation of the play.
Play Central Park is a collection of plays and songs that all center around Central Park. So there's a few different, two different scenes. One's a comedy and one's more serious. And then we have two songs, one from a show called Cabaret, called Money Money, where the cast is going around begging the audience for money. They're kind of homeless in Central Park. And then I'm not sure what the other song is going to be yet. We're still in for a surprise.
Assuming everything passes safety codes, which we're working on that, and that's like the very first step. But assuming that's all okay, what we're doing is we want this to be an intimate experience between the actors and the audience. And traditionally, theater is done like on a proscenium stage with the audience like facing. This is like the way this theater is set up right now. It's a proscenium style stage, meaning the audience is in the audience and the actors are on stage. Okay, when you put the audience on stage with the actors, that creates a much more intimate experience, meaning it's not that the audience is like a part of the action of the play, but they're right there next to the actors.
So I'm actually the stage manager. I'm in charge of kind of making sure that rehearsals go as scheduled, making sure that people are there on time, so that Christine can really focus on working with the actors and making them really sound and look good on stage. During the actual show, I'll be in the booth calling all the cues with the lighting people and the sound people so that they look and sound great. I'll also be working with actors on reviewing their lines and kind of making sure that they know where they're supposed to be and what they're doing come time for the actual show, because obviously Christine will be out in the audience watching.
My role in the show as a director is I selected the show, I cast the actors, and then in terms of rehearsals, I've come up with an overall concept of how to stage it and present it, and then also help the actors with the roles and helping them shine in their roles and interpretation of the play. Oh, sure. We have, I think there's 26 on stage, and then like 5 or 6 who are helping out with rehearsals and are going to work the lights and the sound and all of that. Like during.
So we have one director, Christine, and then we have about 30 to 40 actors and singers, and then we have about 4 or 5 stage crew members at the moment. We're hoping to grow stage crew to be at least 6 or 7. So each actor does their scene. So there's about 4 people in the first scene. There's about 2 in the second, and then about 6 singers.
Well, I think it's a different type of show than like seeing like just like going to see a regular play, because the way we've conceptualized the show is that we've created the entire show around a specific environment, and that's Central Park. So we've taken a setting and then selected material that would work in that setting. So it's like, you know, it's like there's comedies, there's dramas, but it all takes place in the same environment. So it's like people inhabiting and coming in and out of spaces. So I think that's kind of unique to this show. It's not unique. There are other plays that do that, but it's rare.
Want to hear about celebrities like Clive Davis, Jenny Rivera, and information about the film The Silver Linings Playbook? Carl Izus reports.
Music industry legend Clive Davis opens up about his sexuality in a new memoir. In The Soundtrack of My Life, the 80-year-old says he began exploring relationships with men during the era of Studio 54. He said through subsequent years he dated both men and women. He's been divorced twice and says for the last 7 years he's been in a monogamous relationship with a man. Fans of the late Jenny Rivera will get an intimate look at the Latin star in a new posthumous memoir. Atria Books has inked a deal to release her autobiography, Unbreakable, in July. Rivera died in a plane crash last December at the age of 43. She's sold more than 15 million albums and was developing a comedy series with ABC at the time of her death. The publisher says Rivera had been writing the book for years. It'll be released in both English and Spanish. Amazon is selling memorabilia from the film Silver Linings Playbook in its new entertainment collectibles store. It's part of a partnership with Premier Props, a movie memorabilia and auction site. The collection includes actual costumes worn by stars Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. Amazon says its entertainment collectibles store offers more than 350,000 items, including authentic costumes and props, autographed memorabilia, and musical instruments. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Carl Azus.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Elena Rosnick.
And I'm Michael Long. Thank you and good night. Coming up on the next NCC News, a landslide in Colorado causes massive property damage. And a look at the real estate market in Fairfield County. Please join us again for the next NCC News. Thank you and good day.